Hello and welcome, folks, on the Giant Bomb. Oh God. Okay, sorry. Welcome everybody to GiantBomb.com. It's Thursday morning on the Giant Bomb clock. You can see it right behind me. That's right, Giant Bomb. We're starting not only videos and podcasts and stuff, but we're gonna make our own time zone. Yeah. Anyway, so it's Thursday morning, so you know what that means. It's time for a little bit of quality time, a little QD with this cutie. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I haven't been cute in years. Wow.
Nonsense.
Oh. So it's Thursday morning, so that means it's time for a little bit of time with me, Jan, and some juice. So pour up the orange juice, the apple juice. If you're feeling a little bit adventurous, maybe some grapefruit juice. Yeah, they make grapefruit juice. My friend's speech actually makes a lot of. Okay, we don't need to talk about my friend's speech. It's not the time to talk about speech. No, it's not time to talk about random friends, but it's actually time to spend time with friends, old friends or new friends. Folks, I would like to introduce to you voice actor extraordinaire, professional duelist, almost a professional duelist, and my new dueling coach. Folks, I've brought in the big guns, the biggest guns, to help me become king of games. Professional duelist, professional voice actor, voice of Shay Obsidian from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, Matt Shipman, everybody.
What's
Hello,
up?
sir.
I
How's it
assume
going?
I'm here now. Good. How's it going with you, man?
Great. I gotta tell you, we were chatting a little bit before this show got going, and I'd never been more nervous in my life talking to like someone that's like a professional.
Why?
You know?
I'm just some guy in a chair. Don't worry. What?
I'm a guy in a chair too, but I'm just like sitting in a kitchen and I press buttons and then I pretend to be a pro. You're actually a pro, you know, the whole shebang.
To be fair, as a Giant Bomb fan for many years, I was also a little nervous. So we can be mutually nervous. It's
There we
okay.
go. We'll hold hands virtually if you're okay with that. I mean, we don't have to do that, but you know, we'll bask in each other's presence. I haven't slept that well. This
Me
is
either.
early for you, so it's gonna work out.
It's
Gonna work
earlier
out.
for you though, right? It was
Uh,
8:30 for you.
just a skosh. I Thursday mornings. It's street cleaning on my block, and I've been in an eternal blood feud with my neighbors next door about the big
Mm,
parking space.
okay.
And then I've lorded over for it for like half a year, and then I started feeling like a douchebag. And then I was about to talk to them and say like, "Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna take that spot over there. You guys can take this one." And
Mhm.
they forcibly took it. They bought like a huge Sprinter van and laid claim over that, and they haven't moved since. Um, but yeah,
Well,
How you doing, Matt?
Uh,
Besides it
I'm
being early for
processing that
you.
story. I mean, it's like 10:30 for me. I'm in Texas.
Ooh,
But because that's where all the anime gets done, if you can believe that. Not Yu-Gi-Oh. I was in New York when I did that, but uh, I'm tired because I normally wouldn't wake up anywhere near this early. I
mm.
usually sleep in a little later than this. But I got up for this because I'm excited for Yu-Gi-Ohs. And I don't know, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. I got
Okay.
some tea. I got some water. Multiple sources of liquid for maximum hydration,
Hmm.
and I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, as the folks say, hydrate or dihydrate. So here we
Yeah.
are. Matt, I don't know if you've tuned into previous episodes of this, but we have sent several people, including a couple children, to the Shadow Realm. Um,
Okay. Good.
See, that's a good. Thank you for not judging me on that. Some people, if I approached them with that sentence, they would immediately turn around and walk away. But thank you for
I
embracing the Shadow Realm there.
Oh yeah. I don't want to like test your Yu-Gi-Oh knowledge, but do you know how that's like not the Shadow Realm as a concept is like not even a thing in the original
Oh, please
version?
lay down the Yu-Gi-Oh lore on me.
So the Shadow Realm's not in any of the season. I think maybe it's in GX too. I don't know. I don't know how familiar you are with Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's the original one, there's GX, and then 5Ds, Zexal, Arc 5 Reigns, and now Sevens. I'm in Arc 5, the fifth one. It's conveniently numbered
Oh,
for you. Um, and that was like a crossover one. So there's some like older characters come in, but the Shadow Realm was a concept they created for the dub of the original show, so they wouldn't have to be like, if you lose this game, you die.
Huh. Oh.
So there's
Yeah, so
yeah,
they just die.
yeah. There's my favorite one is the
Oh
dude
no.
who it's like Yugi versus another guy with a dark magician, and there are saw blades that are coming along the ground and will chop their legs off if they lose when their life points run out. But in the dub, it's like a energy disc that will send you to the Shadow Realm.
Oh no, I'm thinking about all the ramifications that's happened. Oh
Yeah.
no, these poor AI children. uh,
I don't know. This
oh
is a virtual
god.
world. This is okay, but in the show,
In the show, okay. Uh, anything flies in a dub. I've learned. So Matt, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you because I don't want to lie to you.
Mhm.
I don't want to lie to
Yeah.
you. I have not played Duel Links in like 2 weeks, mostly because I have very, very poor impulse control. And I
Right.
was very, very close to spending too much money on this game.
Mm, mm, mm.
Um, so I had to stop. Um, and I have not touched it then. I'm still rolling with an Amazoness deck. I'm still
Okay.
very confused as to why it's called Amazoness when you could just use Amazon, and that would pretty much be indicative of what you're using. But
Well,
here we are.
one reason I'll tell you because I've played the Yu-Gi-Oh card game as well. I played it for years
Mhm.
before being involved in the show in any way. Not like hardcore. I got more back into it once I got in the show. But let's see who your opponent is here. Okay.
She know her.
Always got a good, fun character.
Mm,
um, the thing I'll say is that I don't know if you're a card game guy in general, but like you could have a card that says, find an Amazon card in your deck, and because cards that have Amazonness in their
oh,
name have the word Amazon in there, they count too.
I see. I see.
So Amazonness and Amazon are separate things, I guess, for that reason. I don't know.
So that I was actually going to ask you if you'd grown up playing the game. I believe we're around the same age.
I am, oh god, 27 or 8. What am I?
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
I don't remember the age.
Oh, it's
So
fine. After 25, you can stop counting now.
yeah, dude, it was like 23 for me. I was like, I don't know, everyone's the same now.
I was gonna ask if you grew up playing the game, or if this was like an Anya Taylor-Joy hitch, where you picked up on the game by playing by playing the role of Shea Obsidian.
So I feel like that's like a common thing people ask is like, oh, do you have to like, you didn't ask this exactly, but like, do you have to know how to play the game to be in the show? And it's like, dude, I'm probably one of the only like 3 people who are in the show, like,
Oh,
because you have a script, like
right.
you just go, this effect activates and it says this and does this, and because you did this, I get to do this, and it's you're reading words off of a page. You just get excited about it. I'm like trying to learn what your deck does because
Me too. Don't worry.
I not to get off too far off topic of what we were just saying, but I skipped through a video
Please.
like yesterday because I was like, all right, what does this format look like at all? And I ended up watching like 2 whole duels because I was like, how do these Amazon cards work? I don't know. Uh,
Pish posh applesauce. I thought that rhymed in my head, but it didn't.
that's close enough. It's early. It's fine.
Matt, you mentioned that you're in Texas. I gotta ask,
Yes.
were you at all affected by the snowstorm? Are you okay, Matt?
Oh, I'm
Doing all
fine.
right?
Yeah. We got very lucky. I think we live near a like a hospital or something somewhat close by. So like our power didn't go out
Whew.
except for like 45 minutes at the end of the week. But I know a lot of people who did not have power for several days, and so their heat was off, and it got to be like 40,
Oh
30 in their
boy.
house, and they just bundled it. Yeah, it's not great. People had like burst pipes. We were incredibly fortunate. The only thing we lost was internet, really. So we couldn't. We were working on a show. My wife Brittany Lotta is also a voice actress. She's
Mm.
also a director. I feel like I could also just like tell people what I do, I guess. So I do voiceover, but I also do script adaptation for anime. So like I'll get a translation and I'll have to adapt that into words that can be used for the dub, so it matches the timing. And for lack of a better term, sounds more like something someone would actually say instead of a direct translation. And I also can engineer a session for voiceover. So I'll do that at like my station right here, where I run the Pro Tools session and stuff. So we were working on a show where we had all of the actors connecting to us remotely, and I was recording them here, and Brittany was directing them right next to me. And so that was like the last week of production. We were supposed to wrap the show. It's called Akudama Drive, by the way. It's very good. You should watch it. And we couldn't because we didn't have internet, so we got pushed back like a week. But it was fine. I mean, we were ahead on our deadline, so it's all good.
Okay.
I don't know how you're playing this game and like listening to someone ramble about
nonsense. I actually don't know what I'm doing in the game either. I want to be present and listen to you, sir.
I'm coaching you well, then. Is my head over the effect text screen?
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Like,
I make this extra easy.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how this happened where I suddenly have 0 attack points.
Mirror wall or something? The thing that's in their graveyard? It just, I don't know, lowers a lot of attack from everyone who's in attack position when you're attacking or something. It's permanent too. Oh no, is it not permanent? It might not be permanent.
And
that's not even what that is. I don't even know if that's what that card is.
And folks, that's why we have a dueling coach now. We're going to figure it out together. Wall disruption.
Yes, wall disruption. Okay, so 800 attack for each monster to control. Okay.
We brought in a ringer, folks. We're king of games in like no time.
I've got like, okay, so I was going to say to you, my like tech for this game is to play it and then play it very casually for as long as you possibly can and just log in regularly. Like you don't even have to duel anyone. I mean, I have dueled people, but like, dude, I can't see what your gems and such are, but like, are they called gems? I have like almost max gems and almost always have max gems because I was like, all right, my character's going to be in this game at some point and I'm going to have to buy all his cards. So I have to save up. So like, so I have 2 decks now over the course of me playing this game since its inception. Buster Blader and then Blackwings, because Blackwings are a deck I played in real life when I was younger, and they're also an archetype of dark winged beasts, and my character in the show plays an archetype of dark winged beasts, so it just felt appropriate. But when they add his stuff, I'm gonna spend all that, but until then, when I log in and they're like, here's 500 gems because there's a new box, I'm like, all right, well now I can spend 500 gems and then redeem that, and now I'm back to max. Great.
There we go.
But you do need to have like a decent deck, and I mean, it looks like you have. Amazonas was like super competitive, I feel like, in Duel Links for quite a while, if it's not still. So I think you made a good choice here.
It's been rocking with me well, where I can just roll up to like AI fights and turn my brain off and just do like the auto dueling.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've manually dueled an AI in this game. It's so long. But it's the worst because you can build like a really cool deck that has an interesting game plan and is really good against real people, and then the auto duel doesn't know how to use it.
Oh my god, yes. I've been like, I think that's also part of the reason why I took a step back, is that I had pulled some really good cards and I was fudging around with a deck, and I thought like, well, I just need some extra gems. I'll just I'll just have the AI do it for me, and it was not doing any of the cool tech that I had intended on. Okay, can I have 0 attack points.
Maybe defense. I don't know. What other effects I can't even read them. It's fine. Defense position. I don't know.
We're gonna
4,000 life points. You're okay.
We're gonna go in hot. Our opponent hasn't put down a monster in like since the beginning of this. Well, maybe like three or so turns. Can I activate the trap card? No. Okay.
Direct attack. Great. Man, I opened this game for the first time in like a couple of months the other day when I was like, oh, I should probably like open this up and remember what this game's like. Because like I said, I play it very casually, just periodically. And the thing that caught my eye the most as a change they made is that the end turn button is like purple now.
Oh,
it was just the same color as all the other things up until, I guess, a few months ago. And I would end turns all the time by accident.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm grateful they changed that.
Well, our opponent hasn't put anything down, and we're kind of stuck.
don't know.
Well, okay, so
This
we'll
one.
be able to get 400 attack
Worth it. Woo.
slowly, but oh, oh,
What
what does this
did
do?
it didn't that shouldn't be you should be able to gain on top of that. Wait, what does the card you just played do? It just says 400 attack.
Yeah, attack and defense until the end phase,
What? I don't know why that didn't work.
and then when an opponent monster declares an attack, oh,
But
well.
it's off the field. That shouldn't. Do you have something? I don't know. Just
You know what?
okay.
We're just gonna do this.
Defense position. I'm seeing some claps in the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so ready for people in the chat to know the rules of this game so much harder than I do because like I've played it. I've only been to a tournament like twice in my life for Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm not like I'm not an expert really. I just play
Nonsense.
one in
You're
the
an
show.
expert.
Da-da-da.
What was the funnest card to have to repeatedly say over and over again?
Oh man. Oh, I bet I have some weird ones. So my character plays the archetype Raid Raptors.
Yes.
So it'd be Raid Raptor something. Raid Raptor Rise Falcon. Raid Raptor Vanishing Lanius was the first one I ever had to say. I don't. I'll pick one out, but my favorite thing in general to have to say seriously is just you activated my trap card. Like it's such a joke at this point, you know. And
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, my job is to like sell this, like be convincing about this. I'm being serious about it.
Right,
Uh,
right. And I
oh, you
imagine.
know,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, I was gonna say there's one moment in the show. It's not a card name, but it's an attack name. For whatever reason, in the dub, they like to make the attack names alliterative for whatever reason. So usually it'll be something like fierce fire or something. I don't know, just something that's like FF or QQ, the same letter twice in a row. I was doing like a very emotional duel, and I was about to like defeat my opponent and be like, I'm screaming my head off, and like honestly, it was a tough time in my life, and I remember being like,
Oh,
this is a really good outlet because I'm screaming a lot in this duel. My character's angry. It's an emotional experience for him, and the final attack I had to do for the card name's ridiculous, for Raid Raptor Satellite Cannon Falcon, because he was a satellite. It was
oh.
called Vengeful Vengeance.
Yeah,
I loved it.
that checks out. That's what revenge or yeah, avenging is.
It's the most alliterative thing I've ever had to say in my entire life because it's like, what's vengeful? Vengeance. I guess it's only one syllable, but yeah, you know.
I remember looking at that Raid Raptor card and it was like that looks like a spaceship. That what?
Did you look at it? Did you
Yeah,
look into Raid Raptors?
yeah. And then I was like, oh my god, what? And that was at the point of Yu-Gi-Oh where like I took a step back for a while and I wasn't following the show as much. And then a couple years ago, I went back in and then I was just sitting there watching. I'm like, wow, it's someone is just combining, literally pulling elements out of a hat. It's like, okay, dragon, space. Now it's a satellite and it shoots cannons, but it's still a dragon. Done. Should we
Jan,
call it a dragon? No, it's a raptor.
Jan, you're gonna deck out really soon.
I know.
It's all right. If it happens, it happens.
I'm persevering. Babe.
I think that was this guy's plan. I think as soon as you had 3 monsters on the field with 0 attack, he was like, "I'm decking this guy out. He's drawn way more cards than me. I'm not playing a card. I'm gonna sit here."
I appreciate them sticking through. Oh god, yeah, their hand is full. They had to throw cards away.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I saw someone in the chat ask if I was the juice on this feature since you were the Jan.
Yeah.
I'll take that position
Yeah.
if the position is open right now. I'll be the juice. That's
100%. Matt,
for now.
You never have to ask me if you can be the juice. You just are.
I'm gonna put that on my resume now.
Yeah. Speaking about resume, like how you've done a poop ton of voices, sir. Like you are like Pitbull. You are Mr. Worldwide. And have done a lot of work. But how'd you get started? Was it like a thing you've always wanted to do? Did you fall into it? Type of deal?
It was something I wanted to do. We still haven't established my actual age on the show because I don't remember it, 27 or 28. But when I was like 14 or something, I'm an anime fan. So just to throw it out there, I do a lot of anime.
Yes.
My primary thing, just because of I don't know, my voice type and where I am, like physically, where I live and stuff like that. Um, and so I'm in shows like, you know, My Hero Academia and Doctor Stone and Attack on Titan and Akudama Drive is the show we're working on. I don't know, other stuff too. Yu-Gi-Oh! Wow. And so I was a kid and I was watching, you know, Toonami and stuff and Adult Swim. And I remember I saw a commercial for the dub for the premiere of Bleach. And I was sitting there with my friend, and my friend, I guess, had watched the show probably illegally online, subtitled. And he was like,
No.
oh, I don't know, I don't, right? He was like, I don't like what they did with the main guy's voice. He doesn't sound right. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? He's like, well, it's in Japanese and now it's in English. And I'm like, oh, huh. And then I looked into that character, and it turned out he was played by my favorite Power Ranger actor, Johnny Young Bosch.
Oh.
There you go. There's
Oh.
the but you had 4 times the amount of life points. That counts for something, right?
Yeah. Like that's a moral victory somewhere. Yeah, you know, I mean, nothing is new when you have more points than the other person and you still lose.
Yeah. No, you won.
Yeah.
In our hearts.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Mm.
But yeah, so Bleach and Johnny Young Bosch.
Yes. So I looked into it, and basically I was like, wow, actors can be in multiple things, huh? Like, you know, it's just one of those things that when you're a kid, you don't process it. You don't process that there's like people who are drawing the cartoons. You don't process there are people who are in front of a microphone speaking the cartoons. You don't process someone's like scripting it.
Mm-hmm.
So once I like figured out what that was, and like once that clicked, I was like, I wonder if I want to act in this. And so I just like learned for years. I just like did stuff on the internet, like indie stuff and low budget stuff. And then I went to college, and I was like, why am I going to college? I'm going to act. And I did it anyway for a backup.
Okay.
And then I'm like skimming over years and years of like networking and meeting people and going to like events and classes and stuff,
right,
to learn and hone my craft and stuff. And at some point, I took a class with my beautiful wife is waving to me that she's walking the dog now. I took a class because my wife at the time, she wasn't my wife, but she told me about the class. She's like, "Oh, this guy who directs Yu-Gi-Oh is teaching a class," and I was like, "Oh, that should be fun." And the director is his name's Darren Dunstan. He's the voice of Pegasus in the original Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh.
And so I took a few classes with him, and a few weeks later, they were casting for Arc 5, and I got an email being like, "Hey, you want to come in and audition?" I was like, "Yeah." And at that point, I had done like one in-studio professional gig. I just did like a minor character in a show. It was an anime. And I went in and I read for it, and I didn't book anything. Because you usually don't.
Right.
More often than not, you don't book anything. And then 2 months later, I was in New York City. At the time, I didn't live in New York City, so I took like an hour train in. I was at another audition for a movie that I also didn't book. And I turned my phone off airplane mode as I was leaving, and I had an audition in my inbox, and it was like, "Hey, we're casting for this character. You need to send it in by today. You'll know if you got the part or not by tomorrow, and you have to come in the next day to record if you get it." And I was like, "Okay." And they sent me a picture of, "Oh, you won. Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah. Yeah, first win."
The person was so compelled by your life story, Matt, that they were like, "No, I gotta let him have it. Gotta let him."
I'm not doing any coaching, right? I'm not doing a very good job.
No. You're coaching in other means. You're always you're that person failed at beating us, right? And
Yes.
I had a former boss. Sorry to sidetrack you, but my former boss, a little too positive of a person sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was a life coach prior to becoming my boss, and he released a hip hop album of positivity. But one of the things, and like, you know, our team was super small. We were like 4 people, and like me and the 2 other folks, the most cynical, sarcastic people in the world, did not mesh with him all the time. But the one thing he like taught me that for some reason I hate has stuck with me is that like to fail, Jan, is to find answers in losing. And that's what we're doing right now, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get the voicemail. You get the voicemail. We're ranking up.
uh, okay, so where was I? I got whatever. I got this email. I looked at the sides on the way home, and the picture they sent with this character is a picture of him wearing sunglasses and his scarf over his mouth, because the first time you see him, that's what he looks like.
Oh, right.
In universe, they're trying to like hide what he looks like. He's supposed to be mysterious, but I looked at that and went, oh, he's like a dude who's going to duel for one episode, lose, and then you'll never see him again. Okay, cool, whatever. Like, I'd love to do that still. I have no problem with that. Let's do it. I neglected to read the part of the email that said it's a main character. So somehow, I guess I missed that. Probably because I was too excited. So I went home and I read for it. And then the next day I was driving to my retail job at Apple, where I was selling phones and accessories and such. And I stopped for gas, which I never do. I always get gas on the way home, but I had to get in the way in that day. And I got an email that was like, hey, I hope you've been, like, it was the person scheduling me. They were like, hey, hope you've been in contact with so-and-so about being cast in the show. We're going to need you tomorrow. And I was like, no, I wasn't in contact with anyone, but great. And then I did that. And then I was like, great, this is what I want to do. So I continued. I used that as a springboard to be like, hey, I'm in the show and I'd love to read for you, for a bunch of other places. Because once you book like one like real thing, one like notable thing, and Yu-Gi-Oh is like a household name, even if Yu-Gi-Oh Arc 5 isn't necessarily, then people are like, oh, okay, well, someone judged you and said, okay, you're real. You're not just a fan who's emailing everyone saying, I want to be in anime. Or something. So,
I mean, that's generally my cold call to jobs. That's not related to anime ever. It's like, I want to be in anime.
I just want to be anime, man. So I did that, and then eventually, me and my wife Brittany decided to move to Texas because we were working on more production side stuff as well, and it's cheaper to live here. And we were like, we can rent a house for like a fraction of the cost that it takes to rent a shitty little apartment in New York City. So let's do that. And so we did. I was lucky enough to keep my role in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I was like, I have a professional quality booth. We're buying a whisper room. Like, let me just keep recording and they were like, that's fine.
Awesome.
So I did. And then we came here, and then we started working with like Funimation, and I've worked with Sentai Filmworks that's in Houston. And recently, because of the pandemic, I've been working with other studios like Bang Zoom and a bunch of other places. I've gotten to do video games lately too. I'm in finally. I'm in Disgaea 6, which isn't out yet, but I have this mug here. I play. Oh jeez. Okay, there's a slight lag. There we go. This guy.
Look.
No, not the penguin. What am I doing? I can't figure this out. Other way, finger.
There you go.
That guy, Ivar. I recorded him in this room in the booth that's off camera.
Nice.
And I got to be in the My Hero game because I was that character already. And then I just got to announce I'm NPCs in Genshin Impact yesterday. Hey.
Holy smokes. Another game that I had to put away because I was very close to dropping too much money with that. I said I was going to say this before, but I don't want to brag. No, I'm kidding. But I pride myself on never having spent a dime on Duel Links. I'm sorry, what?
On Duel Links. I've never spent any money on this game. Because I just open it up. I'm like, I don't even want to play this game. I just open it, and then I get my free gems they give away like every few months or something. And then I have 9,999 gems, and I can just buy whatever I want. So I encourage you, try not to spend any money. But if you want to spend money, then go for it, I guess. Who am I to judge?
But as my new dueling coach, Matt, I gotta obey the tips. I'm gonna try not to spend money. Okay. All right.
I mean, maybe just put a cap on it. If you really want to. I'm not saying do, but if you really wanted to, just put like a $5, $10 cap on it or something.
Oh man, Matt.
It's not gonna get you much.
So you're right. It actually won't get me much at all in this game. It won't.
You're gonna get a bunch of packs with nothing you need. Because you can't buy singles in this game like you can in real life.
You can't buy singles. I had a question for you, but then I lost it because then I remembered we were playing a card game and we weren't just hanging out.
So we don't have to do this at this time, but we could. If you want, I have the game on my phone. Like we can just duel too, if you want, at some point.
Yeah, we
have to set that up.
We would have to set that up, and I don't want to throw your info to the
I mean, it's
interwebs.
what like my. Yeah, I'll look at it. because I think the info is just like a dual ID. If people want to like friend me, it doesn't matter. I'll just either not answer them or answer them. But
It's been I remember what I was gonna ask you now.
yes,
And that was me trying to segue into it. But anyway, um, we were talking also earlier before this. What the fuck happened? Uh, before the stream started, that like a certain parent company of Giant Bomb, former parent company, uh, was very adamant that one day we would return to the office very, very quickly.
uh,
And you mentioned you're in Texas now, despite the role of Yu-Gi-Oh being based out of somewhere else. How's working in quarantine been for you? How's that affected y'all?
it's
If it
strange.
has.
It's strange because me and Brittany have lucked out. And by lucked out, I mean only slightly lucked out, and
Mhm.
a lot of it is also just because we spent a large sum of money to make this studio years ago. But we have a home studio. We have a professional quality home studio. We've recorded several things with like we've recorded like indie video games and stuff for clients through here. We'll have
Sure.
actors come in and just go into the booth and stuff, or our own projects that are just remote recording or something. So we were set to go like week one. So
Nice.
like one of the first things Funimation, the company I work with a lot, prioritized when they were trying to figure out how to record people from home was the My Hero dub. And I
Right.
technically play I technically play four named characters in that show.
Ah.
Uh, two of them are very very small, and and one should come back in season 5, and then I'll feel a little better about saying I play him because I was a replacement for someone else on him. But so I think the only reason I got to play my fourth dude, who's one whole line in a flashback for someone, is because they were up to that episode, and the director had worked with Brittany and I on a Makoto Shinkai film. It's the guy who did like Your Name and stuff. Have you ever
Mm.
heard of that?
Yeah, yeah.
We were lucky enough to do one of his like short films. It's called She and Her Cat. It Will Make You Cry. Of course it will. It's about animals. They always do. Um,
Ah.
we had her in to do that, so she knew we had this professional studio. So she's like, I need someone for this part. I'm just gonna get Matt, because I
Yeah.
know he can do it. I know he's set up for it already. We don't have to send him any equipment or anything. Because they tried this thing early when they thought we would go back into studio a few months
Mhm.
into it, like we all maybe thought we might, maybe, or like 4 or 5 months. Uh, they sent, and they made the video about this. You can find this on like their YouTube. They sent
Mhm.
like iPads and Apogee mics and stuff for
Oh.
people to record from home. And it's, you're an audio professional and a
Sometimes.
media professional in some
Yeah.
degree.
Yes. Yeah.
Like to us, there is a absolute noticeable difference there in quality.
Right.
And to some average people, but there are some average people who are just like, whatever, sounds like the
Mhm.
same guy. Um, so that was the temporary solution, basically. And now we've been in it for a year.
Uh huh.
So more people have had to invest in actual home studios, and we're using programs that make it a lot easier. We've finally gotten to that point. But long story short, I've been in a very fortunate position, and it's allowed me to branch out. Like the only reason I'm in Disgaea, the only reason I'm in Genshin Impact is because these studios were forced to look for people who all over who have the professional quality equipment to
Oh.
remote in and work with them because their usual people couldn't come in anymore. Um, and to be fair, it seems like a lot of actors out in LA where those studios are located, and where a lot of video games are done in general. It seems like a lot of them have invested in that space in their home now, but it's like, dude, it's like thousands of dollars for like a good booth.
Right.
Or you have to outfit a closet, and it's like, well, you still might have weird echo because you don't really know how to do it. You don't know
Uh
how
huh.
to really outfit it. So we've lucked out in that we've done a lot of work, and like I've got a session just after this for Dr. Stone
Ooh.
and it doesn't matter because like it doesn't I have a good quality setup, so I'm not concerned about my quality or anything.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I've booked like 2 leads in anime since the quarantine, and I'm not gonna act like that can't possibly have anything to do with the fact that there are limited people working now as a result of this. So it's been tough for a lot of people who don't have the means
Right.
already, but it's been very lucrative for those of us who are lucky enough to have that already. Um, so good for me. I'll say.
Yeah. No, but you've also put in the work prior to like all of this like popping off and everything. So
Right.
it's I think it's completely fine.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is we wouldn't have worked on Akudama Drive, that show. I play a psychopath in that, by the way. So go to fun. No, I mean, watch the whole show. This is to everyone, not just you, Jan. But watch it if you want. It's good. I play psychopath in that, and it's a trip. I don't usually play psychopaths.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't. I don't think that show would have been outsourced to my wife and I's studio if there wasn't the quarantine like hiccup in production, because they're basically like, we need to get this done, but we have all these other shows we got to get done. We got to outsource some of the stuff to other places. So that's another benefit we've got, I guess. But you gotta have internet, so when a snowstorm comes and knocks out your internet,
oh boy,
knock all your sessions back a week.
But you've persevered. You've persevered.
Yes.
And here we are in the morning. And we don't have anything out in the field right now, but I'm still feeling good.
What do you got? Let's talk about the game for a second. The score is next on the field check. Okay, that's not bad. 1,700. You can only try to. Okay, well then I guess the other one, right? If this thing's gonna go out with 1,100.
Right.
But that's 2,500. I mean, what's even the? I don't know. I mean, maybe just defensive position.
Yeah.
Every time I zone back in and I'm like, oh, we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm like, hey, throw a monster down defense position for me, buddy. Like,
yeah. I feel like when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty seriously, like showing up to like in game or like in real life like meetups and stuff, I would try and play fast and loose. And any and every time I went up against someone, they would try and just stall the heck out of me. And like my deck was just not built for it, because I was just like, okay, like I should be able to maybe win in like 2-3 turns, and then I can peace out. But I would always go up against someone that could just stall me out for forever, and then I would just look like a fool, Matt, a fool.
How long ago was that you did that? Like
maybe like 5, like in my head it's recently, but when I do the math, it's like actually like 5-6 years ago. And like okay, that creeps me out.
So like what was like, did synchros, did they exist at the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Synchros existed, and I didn't understand them, so I just didn't do them.
Okay. Do you understand them now?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thankfully.
Then they were like, okay, make Xyz. They're going to be a little easier to understand, sort of. And then
it was like an adjustment to like come into this playing Duel Links and looking at all the cards. I'm like, okay, yes, that looks familiar. That looks familiar. And then to realize there's like a whole different world of so many other cards that I don't understand at all, and I have to like relearn 5 different metas to be competitive.
Good. I'm glad you have this card. That's a really good card.
Oh boy, a lot of gems were spent.
Yeah,
Thanks,
right.
Canada.
Thanks, Canada. That'll help here if you can get a monster. You can get a monster above 1,200 attack.
Maybe they won't attack me. Maybe. Okay, there we go.
Well,
all right, that can go away.
Oh man, if you had the spear down.
You're right.
Then you could have chained its graveyard. Well, I think can you do it in the same turn that it's sent to the graveyard? I can't remember. Whatever.
Well, you just flip that.
No regrets. No regrets here.
We had them on the ropes. They were down to 800.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Again, a moral victory.
Yeah. Oh man. Is there any? Oh, no, go ahead. No.
Say, it's weird seeing this game in like a wider screen, because I'm used to like my phone, like my vertical phone being like, I have to scroll to see everything.
Yeah, it was God, when I first fired this up on Steam, I was so surprised. I was hoping they would like flesh out, like completely make it widescreen, but then when I see that everything else on the sides is kind of useless. Or not useless, but superfluous info. Yeah, I was like, oh man.
To be honest with you, as someone who plays on mobile, it's really nice to see the card effect automatically on the left side instead of
Ah,
like, all right, move your screen to find the card, tap on the card. Okay, now it's taking up the full screen. Up, your opponent did something, so that's been removed, and now you have to watch that animation and then hit it again and try to read it. So, there are benefits.
yeah. So I haven't been keeping a count as to how many we've won and lost. But I'm gonna say we've won everything so
Yeah,
far.
that's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna say we won.
Yeah.
So how about we take this one really seriously? Let's see what you got.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game. All right. It's a 17. It's a good lead card. All right.
That's not less of a good lead card already, just because.
That's yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. We'll just
Yeah,
start.
that.
We'll start hot. Oh, it's not even our turn. Never
Okay,
mind.
great. Well, that's better. You'll have more options on your turn then.
Oh,
Hey, someone in the chat recognized this poster of behind me. I guess. Oh man, the reverse of the thing. Okay. This poster that they can only see a section of. It's from Galactic Heroes, Legend of Galactic Heroes. My wife directed it. I play a
oh,
character in it, but this is Reinhard. You can't see his face. I think Jan can see that I've covered
oh
his face
yes.
with Cutthroat, my character from Akudama Drive. But
Okay. So let's throw this out. They got a card down there. Oh yeah, let's special summon a monster. What about that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. We're even on let's throw the shield spear down. Let's throw this backup rider. The thing that I've noticed when playing Duel Links versus playing Yu-Gi-Oh in the past, like in person, is that I'm thinking less.
Well, there's less to manage, so this counts, right?
Like I'm just like automatically like, okay, this is like the order I should be doing, my order of operations. Bop bop bop. We lost. Poop.
Yeah. Well, because like the decks are smaller, so
Yeah.
it's your game plan gets to you quicker, and like so I play. I mean, Black Wings are that's just they all have a bunch of different effects, but a simple deck that I play, the one I bought before Black Wings, bought with gems, is Buster Blader, and it's like all you do is fusion summon I don't even remember the full name. It's a Buster Blader fusion thing that says all dragon type monsters on the field are changed to defense position, and
Oh man.
you do piercing damage to them
Mm-hmm.
or to everything. So I summon that, and I have DNA surgery, which means all monsters on the field are dragon, and that's it. That's the whole game plan. Like summon that monster as soon as you can, and have DNA surgery on the field. It's so simple. And because the card, what is it, 20 cards is the limit or minimum or something? Like I can get that in like a turn almost every game. But it's very much I didn't draw it, so I lost kind of deck. So I feel you. Hey, I stopped paying attention for a second. Now we have a 600 attack monster on the field, one spell, and
No, we cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
600.
Baby
The
Tiger
math.
do?
6. Baby Tiger becomes a regular Amazoness Tiger, but gets a little attack. Only 100 for each Amazoness card in the graveyard.
Okay. Well, 15. So you beat at 21. What's the guy? You got 20.
I'm very bad at math.
That's 27. That's not going to be enough.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna put that in defense mode.
Right?
Oh no, Matt! I fudged up because we had this card out, and this would have given us 1,000, so that would have been 16. And then that would have.
I saw that card when I watched you a stream of archive. Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay.
Time to scroll through the chat and see how many people are upset.
We have a question. Could you, Alva Ruho, could you ask your guest if during the recordings for OP Stampede, you taped alongside all the other VAs? Because managing a roster that big might have been insane.
So that's One Piece.
One Piece.
Cavendish in One Piece. That's a story. Uh, generally, for anything that's dubbing, we don't record with anyone else in the room. The exception to that is, I mean, sometimes there are cases, I've heard of cases where they're like, we called in both actors and put them both there. And it's like, I don't know if they have two mics or if the mixer just has to deal with it, if they're both like off or something. I don't know. But generally, we don't do that for a whole bunch of reasons. A couple that come to mind are if I flub a line, as in I don't match the timing of the flaps, because that's a big part of dubbing. They're paying all those other actors to sit there. Because they'd all have to be there. It's like if it's an ensemble recording for, like, I don't know, The Simpsons or something, or like Family Guy, or I don't know, or Voltron or something, where it's prelay is what we call it, because you lay down the audio before the animation's made, so you lay it down ahead of time, okay.
Why did I do that? Anyway, it's fine.
Don't worry about it. In those cases, they will have actors together, or it's kind of project to project. I'm not gonna anything I say, please take with a grain of salt, because every studio does it differently. There's no like end all be all answer to any of these. But for dubbing, we generally don't do that. We do one person at a time. The first time I played Cavendish at all, he's like, this character is in like hundreds of episodes. I've recorded so much of him for my home studio during the quarantine at this point. I played him in a summary special episode. It was like, hey, this is this arc from the perspective of someone else, and Cavendish had like 6 lines in it, and my director was like, you could be this guy. And so I was doing something else with him, and he was just like, you could be the guy. Why don't you just be this guy? Because it was just like, get this done, here we go. And I did it, and he was like, great, yeah, that worked out. And then I went home and I was like, this is a big character, okay. And then I didn't record any more of him for like a year, and then we recorded One Piece Stampede, which is a movie where I also had like 6 lines. And now we've gone back to record the show, which canonically takes place before all of those. So to answer your question, no, it was just me in the booth for my 6 whole lines.
Oh, jeez.
It's just a matter of getting every actor in, sometimes for 10 minutes at a time, like in my case.
That's wild.
Yeah.
We're going first this time.
All right.
All right.
We said this before, but let's say it again. Let's get serious.
We're gonna get serious. Sure, yeah, let's do that. I'm not 100% sure what I just did. Oh, okay.
I feel like this is Yu-Gi-Oh! When you watch someone play another deck and they're like, yeah, I'll do that, because you know the effects of these cards, and me as the observer, I'm like, sorry, what do those cards do? So you're like, I'll do that, and I'm like, yeah, cool. I think there's a reason for that. I believe
Good choice. Good answer.
That's a... What does that card do? The cyclone thing?
I think I just gotta throw something away, and then that'll get rid of one of their spells.
Can it target itself?
Oh, being self-destructive. I like it.
I feel like it probably can't, but I don't
think so.
No.
Oh, they're trying to fuse, Matt. They're trying to fuse.
Trying.
I'm not gonna let them.
Just regular polymerization? They just have a fusion in their hand? This is
unheard of.
What is this? GX? This is old school fusion summoning.
Yeah, I was playing a match.
It's literally just Elemental Hero. All right, I don't know. They're not necessarily bad. I don't know. There's a ton of them, but I was like, I can't wait for Elemental Heroes to pop up so I can talk about my love of Power Rangers, because that's okay.
Oh, Matt, do not get me started on my other love for Power Rangers. Is it strictly just the show? Is it like also Super Sentai? Is it the comic books?
All right, so I'm okay. For me, it was the show growing up, and I have some of the comics. A good buddy of mine, Clifford Chapin, he's a voice actor and a director. He plays. Are you familiar with My Hero?
Yeah, totally.
He's Bakugo in My Hero. That's like his big thing. He's in a bunch of other stuff as well too. He's like Attack on Titan, and he directs Dr. Stone actually. So he's more a comic guy, and so he has bought me several of the comics, and I think they're really cool. And I've played like Battle for the Grid, because I'm really into fighting games, and so that was like a really solid fighter, surprisingly. But I'm interested in Sentai. I haven't really watched any Sentai, but I have watched some Kamen Rider, which I love.
Oh yeah,
this is a Kamen Rider emblem on the back of my phone. Like,
holy smokes, look at that!
I'm into that. I could go into this closet right next to me and pull out a a driver with their transformation belt thing. Like I own that stuff. But I'm also very into Power Rangers. So how about yourself?
Oh boy. I fell super duper hard into the comic series,
Yeah.
and oh god, we're kind of in a bind here. No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah, I fell into the comic book series super hard, and I was like very skeptical at first because
Mhm.
trying to like make something like a childhood property super gritty, at least for me
Yeah.
sometimes, like doesn't always land. Like I
Hmm.
I've tried picking up different runs of like the TMNT, like their comic book
Uh-huh.
runs, and like
Mhm.
sometimes they'll land, sometimes they won't. I guess I'm kind of used to them being more silly and whatnot. But
Mhm.
man, the loops and the hoops that freaking the Power Rangers comic book series goes through and twisting those characters around
Mhm.
um is absolutely phenomenal. Or more phenomenal. God, I hate myself. uh and like I've fallen in love with it, and like there's a quick look where I was like gabbing on for like almost the whole dang thing about how Dragon Trini or yeah Dragon Trini
Oh,
armor is one of the
yeah,
most
yeah.
amazing things I've ever seen.
I don't think I actually got up to that point in the comics, but she's playable in the fighting game. So I was like, what is this? This is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, totally. And then like I was a huge fan of like Zach and then Adam,
Mhm.
Johnny Young
Mhm.
Bosch's like portrayal of
Yeah.
the Black Power Ranger, and then to see in the game that he's just like a that Black Power Ranger is just bad. I was like,
Yeah.
why? Why is he bad?
So you had to
Um,
find out. You had to read the
I had to
comics.
find out.
I saw that because that was pretty early in the Lord Draken stuff. I want to say, right?
Yes,
As you
yeah,
see that the troops, Mastodon troops or whatever.
we
Hey, you did
won.
it!
We won
Hey.
because we harnessed the power of not only friendship but dueling and Power Rangers. Oh my god, I've have you gone back and watched the original show
Yes, I mean not
recently?
recently, not super recently, but I mean I'm the kind of guy who's just like I want to watch all the morphs again. I'm just gonna put that on YouTube for a second, you know. Uh, so I've seen clips and such. It's cheesy and fun.
Yeah, like some of it holds up, and some of it is definitely like, oh, this is a time capsule of this era.
Oh yeah.
um, and like yeah, like my partner was like very very close to trying to buy for our anniversary. The she was trying to find Tommy's dragon dagger.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, no, don't get me this. Like, it's just gonna sit on a shelf somewhere. I don't need it. I don't need it. And then she was like, man, I was so close to winning like an eBay auction. Like the guy beat me uh, by like a couple dollars. And
Mhm,
I like to come off that I don't like material things or whatever.
mhm.
But I was really bummed that she lost that. And when she told me that I could have had the stupid dragon dagger and then just do the tune whenever I wanted. Um,
You would
man.
press a button or something, and then it just does it.
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah. I
and no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I don't know. I was gonna say I have. I think I have just the regular Morpher.
Mhm.
Um, and Cliff bought me the Ninjetti coins for it at some point.
Oh
I have those.
god.
I don't have them set up because we moved like a couple months before the pandemic. We
Mhm.
moved to this place, and there was a lot of things. We're like, we'll get that set up, and then the pandemic happened. And it's like I don't want anyone in my home, so we won't set that up. I guess.
Ugh.
Um, what is happening? All these people are saying don't spend money. Did you
Oh,
imply that? I don't. Or
that
is this a thing
is
they just do at the end of the streams?
all the time, all the time.
Yeah.
They're telling chat offers me financial advice all the time. And sometimes, we're good for that. And sometimes it's no. And anyway, Matt, I don't want to keep up too much of your time, but I feel like I've made a new uh internet best friend
Yeah,
because
man. This
I've
is
loved
great.
having you on, buddy.
Yeah,
And
man.
now
I'd
that I
like to
know
do it
that you
again.
also like Power Rangers, whew, um, oh god, oh god.
This is
But
the kind of
before,
thing that, like, as I listen to your guys' material, I'm like, oh, these guys all like a lot of the same stuff I do, huh? I'm like brushing my teeth, like listening to a podcast, like, huh, cool. So
yeah, dude,
it's
like
nice to be here.
like when I first started working here, like talk general like water cooler talk of like what do you like? What are you into? And then like I'd list the stuff I was into, and they were like, oh yeah, me too. And then I'd realize like, yeah, the reason why I like it is because I've been listening to you guys for so fucking long.
Hmm.
That's why like I am the way I am for good or worse.
I feel like I only keep up with video game news because of you guys. I'm like, like I like want to play more games, but I get caught up in like working and stuff, and
Oh,
I'm like,
totally.
if my friends like, did you hear about this thing? I'm like, yeah, I heard all about it. Here's this, and this, and they're like, why do you know that? I'm like, oh, no reason.
But Matt, before we bid adieu to the folks at home, where can folks find you on the internet? Cheap plugs, plug away, sir. Plug
Plugs.
away.
Social media that I'm most active on is probably Twitter. So it's at Matt Shipman VO. I have an Instagram too. It's just Matt Shipman.
Okay.
Because I claimed that early on. I don't really use it too much, and I have a Facebook page, but I don't ever use that. I think that's it. I don't really have anything else. I have an account on Giant Bomb. Does that count? I'm kidding.
Yes.
I don't
There
want
we
to tell
go.
people that. Yeah, that's it. But thanks so much for having me, man.
Thank
It's been
you
great.
for popping on. This has been a blast. I gotta try and convince you, or we gotta schedule another time. Maybe we can just gab on about like
You don't have to convince me. I'll just come.
we'll talk about anime. We'll talk about Texas. We'll talk about Power Rangers. Maybe all at the same time. But yeah, thank you so much, Matt, for joining us. People that are watching live and people that are watching the archive of this, what I need you to do is I just need you to type a capital V in chat from Matt to thank Matt for his time on today and in the archive. Just throw them V's up. What the V's are for? Maybe it's for Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Maybe it's just
the V in Arc 5.
maybe it's because like Matt's a VO or person. I don't know.
V for victory, man.
There we go. Because we did
won all our
nothing.
games today.
We did nothing but win today, and that's only because Matt, you were the juice. This was Jana Juice. There we go.
This is Jack Juice.
Would you like to say fading to black as we fade to black?
Yeah, we're gonna fade to black now.